Hey, everybody.
Hello. Hi. And welcome to Life in Sync. I hope you've had a wonderful Tuesday because it has truly been Tuesday all day
Stay
long.
long.
So if you're like us, just showing up has been half the battle. So
Mm,
have y'all had a good day today, ladies?
Pretty good.
yeah,
Pretty
pretty
good.
good. We made it to this point, so it's been good.
All right. Well, on today with Life in Sync, our topic for today and for tonight is burned bridges. Burned bridges.
Mm,
And when we talk
wow.
about burned bridges, we're talking about that's a point where we say or we do something that reduces the possibility of returning to a previous state in a relationship. Or it can be an acknowledgement that a connection has been broken with little or no chance of reconnecting on that level. So, have you ever had someone burn a bridge with you? And then at the same time, have you ever burned some bridges with some people? Um, it's almost impossible to say that you've never burned a bridge or somebody's ever burned a bridge with you because as we grow and we mature and we, become in this process of development of becoming better people, even at our best, bridges can be burned. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative connotation all the time. Sometimes it is best to part ways in certain situations. So that's an acknowledgement that a connection is broken with little or no chance of reconnecting on that particular level. Because even though the bridge is burned, we may still be peaceable with each other, and we'll
Right,
talk about that as well. But it'll never be the same, you know.
right.
Um, and then even being in a place where you feel like a relationship will never return to a previous state, or there's no possibility of reconnecting again. So, burn bridges is what we're going to talk about on tonight. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about examples of how people may have burned bridges with us. And feel free to comment and share your experiences with burn bridges because sometimes, we're going to talk about this. Sometimes is a point in our life when we have to look back at the things that we've done. And there are some times when we regret how we handle situations or how we mishandle people, and then sometimes how we were handled, which caused a bridge to be burned, a connection to be lost. And sometimes those connections are never able to be regained again. So I'm gonna let Miss Erica go first and give us what you got, Erica. Burn
Yeah,
bridges.
well, first I have to comment on Rhonda. I saw her over there lighting the match over there. She was burning bridges. But we don't burn bridges
Put your
anymore.
magic down.
Uh, but as far as burning bridges, have I burnt some bridges? Sure, yeah, I think we all have. I think one of the keys to not a key to burning bridges, but we understand that when we do burn bridges, like you said, you can't go back. Once that bridge is burned, there's nothing else to walk on. There's nothing left. So I think closure, the way you close a relationship, the way you end a relationship, if it's the time to end the relationship is important. By all means, you want to end a relationship peaceably. You don't want any bad feelings or bad connotations or a bad taste in your mouth or somebody else's mouth. So I think, of course, we're in life. Everybody's there for a season. Some seasons are lifelong. Some seasons are for just a stage in your life. Some season may be just for a month or 3 years. We don't know. But everything has its season and everything has its time. So we have to know when that time is. And when we leave that situation, when we leave that relationship, we need to do it peaceably. I think a way to do that, especially if there was some type of fallout or alt or an issue, it's good to lay those issues on the table. Being honest, being transparent, having open discussions as peaceably as you possibly can. I feel like if you have that open discussion with the person you're in a relationship with, whether it's with a spouse, whether it's with a intimate partner, whether it's with a job, friendship, or whatever the relationship is, lay all your thoughts out, lay it out. And that way, if there's an issue, you can talk about it because there may have been a misunderstanding, or it just may be the season to end the relationship, but do it peaceably. So make sure that you're exploring everything, that you don't leave any bricks unturned, because once you walk away, it's hard to come back. And there are a lot of factors that can stop you from coming back, whether they're internal factors, things on the inside of you that stop you from coming back, or it could be external factors or that person or that person. So I just think it's so, so important. If you end a relationship, do it peaceably and make sure that you put all your ducks in a row, lay everything on the table, be honest and open about it.
All right, Miss Rhonda.
I say burn, burn, burn if you have to.
Rhonda,
You know,
no.
it's sometimes you have to. And you cannot sit
I
here
mean,
and say, you can't say it's not, it's never, there are times you got to burn bridges. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this: what I'm talking about is you burn a bridge if your gut tells you to. If something is not right about a situation, if you discern something is not right, if you discern whether it's pulling you away from your call or whatever you are placed in this earth realm to do, burn that bridge. Some bridges are not meant to come back across. And I
true,
also think,
true.
and I also think it's okay to burn bridges if your integrity
Oh,
depends on it.
absolutely.
If my integrity is up,
We're done.
we're done. Okay, it's time to burn that bridge. And then I also say burn bridges. If someone is trying to make you dim your light, that is definitely not somebody that you want to bring along the journey or to even, share your environment with, your thoughts, your ideas or your dreams with. It's time to burn bridges. And then it is times where you have to burn bridges because of out of support of friends. It's okay. Some things that require you to go against your friends, go against your loyalty, go against the people that have been there. If they require you to go against your family, I say burn the bridge. Anything that's causing you not to be who you are really are, inside and out, what your heart desires, it's time to burn that bridge.
Yeah.
That's what I
You
say.
one of the biggest, and Rhonda can attest to this, one of the biggest things I had to learn in business, especially in business, is relationships I should have burned the bridge on, severed, but I stayed too long. I
Mm-hmm.
stayed too long in hopes of what I felt was gonna happen or what my
Mm-hmm.
vision was for that person. And even
Mm-hmm.
though they were showing me everything that was opposite, I couldn't let what I had in mind go, which made me
Yeah.
stay too long. Which that, and it can cost you, in
Mm-hmm.
that type of situation. So
It sure
you
can.
definitely have to be able to discern when it's time to let go. And Erica, you said, relationships, they say for a reason, for a season, and for a lifetime. I have some friends right now. I probably hadn't talked to them all year. If I call them and tell them something wrong, they finna come and ride for me. Period.
Okay.
They're gonna be there for me.
Uh-huh.
Period.
Yeah.
I'll call
Hmm.
Ray Ray. They coming.
Mm-hmm.
So just but I have friends like that. I don't have to talk to them. That connection,
Right.
those are lifetime bonds and lifetime
Right.
Yes.
friendships. Some people are
Hmm.
for a season, some people are
Mm-hmm.
for a reason. But you have to be able to discern that. And when it's time to let go, let go.
That's
When
it.
it's time to strike that match, strike that match. And it's not necessarily an unhealthy or negative thing where you popping your neck and
Right.
cracking your tongue,
True.
Yes.
but it's just over. It's not me. It's not you. It's me. Maybe you've outgrown that circle. Maybe are in a place where are you searching for something different, or you're trying to,
Mm-hmm.
get to a new place. And I'm not saying go and cut everybody off, but
Yeah.
Right.
I know personally that a lot of times we have an idea of what we think people should be, what the
Mm-hmm.
connection should be. And when even though it's not meeting our expectation, even though it can be toxic, even though it can be unhealthy, even though it can be weighing us down, but because we can't come to grips with it, the fact that it's over, becomes a problem. And you have mentioned some of the signs that I have wrote down that you might need to sever relationship. If there's manipulation involved, lying involved,
Yes,
you're not able to be your true authentic self. When I'm
absolutely.
with you guys, I can be my true authentic self, however
You
crazy
do.
or awkward or peculiar that may be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. It
Mhm.
is what it is.
Yep,
You can
it
love me or
is.
leave me. So, you know, um, if something or a relationship or someone is disturbing your peace,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mhm.
I've learned to appreciate peace, and I know what the
Yes.
difference is between, when something is disturbing my peace or when I'm at peace. And the Bible says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, not the peacekeeper." We were never, given the assignment of keeping peace, but we can make peace, and we can, like you said, Erica, we can, go our separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
Disconnect from relationships in a peaceable way. If we're mature, if there's constant negativity, if the relationship is only one sided, it's all me, me, me. I'm never interested in what's going on in your life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not bringing anything to the table for you, concerning what you want to do. So those are definitely some things that we have to look at. And then there's an issue. I think when we talk about burn bridges, when we talk about a relationship not being on that same level again, a lot of times there's a violation of trust.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's a violation of trust, it can spark a fire, which will burn the bridge in a relationship. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always have to be a marriage or a dating situation, or it can be among friends, it can be business, it could, etc. But once trust is broken, when I cannot trust you,
Mm-hmm.
you got to go. You
Mm-hmm.
know, being something happened, like I always say this, something happened when I turned 40. It's like I just made a decision, you know, that it's just certain things. I know what matters to me. I know
Right.
what is of value to me. I know what to look for in people. I know
Mm-hmm.
who I am. I know my
Mhm.
purpose. It keeps
40.
evolving, but I do know my purpose.
Mhm.
And I'm finding out more and more. It's a revelation to me, but it was always God's plan. But
Mhm.
even in all of that, um, being very discerning about the type of people I'm dealing with, what I'm connecting myself to, being very careful about how I present myself, not being fake, but just being aware that everything matters. And when you're, especially when you're in business or when you're a professional, you're always being reviewed. You are a whole brand. And like
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda said, those things and those people and those associations that you're connected to become part of your brand. And
Mhm.
so you have to really look at that. And the
Right.
integrity factor is a big thing as well. I can't hang around shysty people, trifling people with no
Mhm.
integrity.
Okay.
I can't
Right.
be named
Right.
among you. So if you show me that you're trifling, strike that match, Rhonda.
Got to go.
Got to go.
And
Yeah.
another thing people may hang on to relationships for, and it sounds really dumb, but out of being awkward, well, they know they're traveling in the same circle. And if I cut off our relationship with this person, and knowing we go to this organization together, or we work together, or we share the same friends, like, well, maybe I shouldn't say anything, although it's damaging to my integrity, or I don't agree with how they carry themselves. But you just hold back and don't say anything because you don't want to be awkward, or you don't want that person to be mad at you. But you have to prioritize what's important. What is the
Mm-hmm.
most important? My peace. Every time you get around that person, they just irritate, make your skin crawl. They talk, because it's bothering you, it's irritating your spirit. What they're doing is so irritating, but you can't let that stop you from the divide if it's necessary. If that's what you need to do, don't let feeling awkward or having a bump into that person or still work with them. There's a way to go about doing everything. Yeah, you can strike the match and burn the bridge, but there's a way of doing everything. even if you do travel in the same circles. And we shouldn't let, even if you have to part ways with somebody, it could be an error or a wrongdoing on your behalf. And then you decide to part ways, but there may be a part, like you said, Mary, that you may not be able to enter into a relationship with that person on that level again. But because of your embarrassment or your fear, or your pride, and you may need this person. Let's say if it's a coworker and you messed up and now y'all fell out, y'all not talking anymore, but you work with them right next in the same cubicle or next cubicle. You know you got to talk to this person, but your pride or your embarrassment won't let you. So you have to know boundaries. You have to know when you can, how to handle that. Hey, and that's why I go back to saying, hey, lay your issues out. This is what you did wrong. I don't like it, or you don't talk to me anymore. You're really not my favorite person in the world, but we got to work together. So we're going to get along for these 8 hours and then deuces. So you got to know how to handle those relationships.
That takes maturity. And, I
Yes,
just
it
call it
does.
long handle spoon therapy will work for you.
Mm-hmm.
You like the old people say, you feed them out a long handle spoon.
Yeah.
They're around, but they'll never be on that same level with you again.
Uh-huh.
And
Don't
so
hand the
that's
spoon.
one thing you have to do. Yeah, you put them in their proper place,
There
Yeah.
and then
you
keep on
go.
going.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to be strategic with it, Just say,
Yeah.
for instance, like you brought up work, we might used to do lunch
True.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you just might have to change your lunchtime,
Mm-hmm.
go at a different time, and not necessarily saying you're treating them, badly, but that's the way you kind of distance yourself. You have to be strategic with that because even
Or you
like
could
you
just tell them,
running,
Rhonda, you could just tell them you're on a fast every day. I'm on a fast.
hey, something
And
at
see,
this
that was
time
my
I fast,
question.
because like Erica was saying earlier, even when it comes to work relationships and things of that nature, when people start disturbing you or they're interfering with who you really are, you have to take inventory and realize what are they really affecting. Like they could be causing me not to get my promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of how we behave when we are together, or how you behave, and they're looking at me thinking I'm the same way.
Exactly.
So you have to look at things, take inventory, and see what is costing you. You're trying to hang on to a relationship just out of fear to save face. And God might be trying to connect you with other people that's different, that can take you to greater heights. But you're holding on to that because you're afraid of of somebody, or how you're going to be viewed, or how somebody would treat you. You know, I say take inventory.
And so I'm kind of joking, and we may not have the exact right answer or the best answer, but in that situation, what would you do? This person at work is really not good for you, and they irritate you, and y'all go to lunch together every day. So, how do you get out of that?
I have done that. That's what I'm telling you. Change my lunchtime.
On fast
So when they come and ask you, "Hey, how come you don't go to lunch with me no more?"
because I have parted
Change my
ways.
lunchtime. Or look, I gotta go and deposit something in the bank. And I'm not saying lie, but
Right.
maybe you use that time to actually do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying put something else in place. I'm not telling you to
That's
lie,
good.
but what I'm
That's
saying, put
good.
something else in place that will cause your attention to go elsewhere. That's why I say you have to be strategic. If you're really trying to break loose with something, that's just like a relationship, like a love relationship. When you're really trying to break loose, what happens? You become strategic. You trying to plan it. You trying to see how you gonna break away when that door gonna open up. That's what you're trying to do. So that's what you do. Be strategic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right.
You might can pay
So,
some bills on that time.
look, so there are some occasions where relationships can be repaired and restored. God has given us the ministry of reconciliation. You know, we've been reconciled back to God, and so in a lot of situations we can be reconciled back to each other. But even in those instances, what are y'all's opinion on how to handle that?
On reconciliation.
What does reconciliation, restoration of a relationship,
Mhm.
forgiveness, apologies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now I say if it was any kind of bad blood between you and a person, I say try to rectify it, you know, and at least that way on your end you're able to release that, and when you let that person know either whether you were wrong or they were wrong, if you let them know how they made you feel or however it was, but just let them know whether you forgive them, if it's behind you, and you give them the opportunity to do the same, and if they don't do that, well, you have released it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and you're free to go. Because at the end of the day, you have to realize really how much peace costs. It will cost you your life. It will cost you your mind. So
yeah.
I always tell people my peace costs me too much. So I'm not gonna let somebody else hinder me from continually growing in who I am and who I'm supposed to be. Over a misunderstanding or just simply because we have outgrown each other. It's okay. I have never had a problem with saying no or saying bye.
Well said. No or
no
bye.
and bye.
I
Wow.
agree with Rhonda on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just lay everything on the table.
Hmm.
What's up? This is how I feel. You may be mad. I didn't like it. Okay, they either take it or they leave it.
Yeah. Because
And
you can't
depending on the
change. You can't
right,
change nobody. You can't change
right,
how they think, how they feel, but at least you have given them the opportunity. And
right,
once you release that and truly forgive them, truly forgive it and let it go.
right. And see, you have to be open as well. If
Hmm.
I'm going to go to you and, we're going to discuss a problem we had, I have to be ready to say, you know what, I did mess up. I did do you wrong. So it's not only just the other person, it's yourself as well. You have to acknowledge, hey, I might have messed up and you may have done something and not be aware of it. And you offended that person, but
Hmm.
you have to be willing to take that L, take that
Yeah.
loser, that you have to be willing to take that and be willing to go forth in a relationship if that's what you so desire to do. So
Yeah.
it's important on both sides. Be open and be willing if that's what you want to do, reconcile or just agree to part ways peaceably and live our life, live our best life.
Yeah.
Our best life. Any comments?
No. Uh-uh.
Okay. Well, all I know is, I've been on both ends of it, and
Hmm.
you know, there's some places I'll never go back to. Some people I hope to, God, I'll never have to deal with again. Um,
Lord.
and a lot of the disconnects that I made were only to put me in a greater position and on a greater level. So I'm
Hmm.
definitely thankful for that. And
So we're thankful. We, like you said, we're also aware
but
that
like I
when
said,
we,
most definitely.
Hello, I actually stopped again.
but yeah, we got to be aware that when we know we're burning a bridge, knowing in the beginning that you may not have to, you may not go there again. So you have to
Yes.
be sure. That's real important, just to be sure if
Yeah.
you're going to go forth with that relationship or is this something you want to try to reconcile.
Yes. And there are times where, somebody may do you wrong or whatever, and they realize, what they have done. I have been in situations like that, um, especially like with other females. I have had one female just dislike me because of a guy I used to date. But she eventually came around and actually apologized, for how she treated me and this because it was kind of bad blood between us, you know what I'm saying? I can say this now, we communicate, we text, we check on each other. So a lot of times you have to allow people grace.
Right.
Some people cannot be mature in certain areas. And so sometimes you just have to know, like with your judgment, with your discernment, that, it's okay and it's time. But hey, we got over that. She got over it. And we check on each other. We still communicate even now. And that was, I know, over 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And ain't nobody with the man either.
No.
Wasn't even
No.
worth it. Wasn't even worth it. So
Oh man,
burn
wow.
bridges. Burn bridges. So I've enjoyed talking to you ladies tonight.
Absolutely. It was fun. Burning
Yes.
them bridges.
Yeah. And thank you everybody for joining us. If you're watching the replay, leave your comments. And we want to thank you for joining us on Tuesday nights at 9. We'll be back next Tuesday and continue to live life in sync. Y'all have a good
I can
night.
say. Bye.
Bye.